I'm Sean, and thank you for stopping by the garage. And tonight, I am working on the lunchbox. Alright, this is Logan's lunchbox. It's got a few miles on it. Oh, just noticed it's missing a bumper. But that's not what I'm working on tonight. Tonight, I am working on replacing the front suspension. As everybody knows, the suspension on the lunchbox likes to bow in. And I've got a chassis from UK Monsters. I bought the ProCarbon chassis kit from UK Monsters, and I'm going to put that on the lunchbox tonight. And then I also added the Pro independent front suspension parts right there. So that will keep the front wheels nice and level when the suspension does its thing. So right now, let's open this up and see what's in the box. First thing, it very well packaged from UK Monsters. He did a great job. Come in, lots of bubble wrap right here. Comes with a nice instruction book. We'll look at that in just a second. And then here's all the parts, and it's all labeled out. There's bag 1, bag 2, bag 3, right there, bag 4, right there, and then wrapped in packing foam. Look at that pretty carbon. That is a beautiful chassis for the lunchbox right there. This thing is going to look awesome. He does all of this with a CNC, so this is all milled, not molded. Beautiful carbon fiber. Just looks great. So if you're not familiar with UK Monsters, it's, of course, he's out of the UK. And he started out making Clod Buster parts. And I've got a lot of his parts for my Clod Buster. I don't have his chassis yet. That's coming. Someday I'm going to do that. But it's all very high quality stuff that he makes over in the UK. So, and you can find him on eBay, or you can go to ukmonsters.co.uk for his website and see everything he's got. I just ordered, he's got a shop on eBay as well, and I ordered this from his eBay shop, and I think I got it in like 5 days. I can't remember. I thought it was pretty quick for what we were doing. So anyway, that's UK Monsters. I highly recommend him. So here's what the book's going to look like. It tells you bag 1, do this, and through here, and then you'll switch to bag 2. Oh, look at that. Put some UK Monster stickers in there. That'll be good. We'll add that to the lunchbox. Bag 3, bag 4, and the end. The battery pack there shows you what it's going to look like. It's adjustable. Here's some of the other parts he's got. He's got a wheelie bar. This is the Pro independent front suspension. I've got that. So definitely take a look at him if you've got a Clod Buster or a lunchbox. Take a look at UK Monsters. So also the shocks that come with the lunchbox will not work with this chassis. UK Monsters recommended set of shocks, either somewhere between 75 and 85 millimeter. The website says 80 is best. So I got 2 sets of the Racing 80 millimeter big bore Go shocks. So that's gonna look good on there. And I think I got these. I think I got these from A-Main. Yep, A-Main Hobbies for these. So that is everything. So I'm going to tear into this and do a build video from here. Thanks for stopping by the garage, and take care. Okay, so bag 1, it says the side plates are sighted left and right. The countersunk hole needs to face the inside. Unfortunately, I was given 2 right side chassis. So to make this match, so there's the picture and there's that, the countersink should be on this side, and it's actually on this side. But it's not that big a deal. It's just that the head isn't going to be sunk all the way down. Because when I did the right one, if I get it right, I can make the right one match with a countersunk. So I've got 2 right side chassis pieces in this kit. But other than the countersinking, it's not going to be a problem as far as I can tell. But it just took me a couple times of looking and matching the pictures, and like, nope, that's on the wrong side. So that's okay. I'm going to keep building. Alright, I wanted to break in here and just take a moment. Hopefully the camera's picking that up, but I just wanted to show, I think this is a block of aluminum, and you can see the CNC machining. So this thing was milled. Very nice and precise. So this is a real high quality piece. And same thing over here, you can see how this curve was milled in a CNC machine. And then everything was nicely polished. Corners are rounded. Really nice parts. Really good work. Okay, I have bag 1 done. And there's just a couple of things worth noting. It's very adjustable. So this is the body posts so you can put the body on. So the chassis goes this way. And this is adjustable, so you can lower the body. This is the stock position. I had it there, and then I decided, I'm going to go down 1. It's got a 5 level adjustment on the body height. Now the instructions say the other positions can be used to lower center of gravity and change the look, but it can lead to tires touching the body. So I just knocked it down 1, and see, that should be okay. Otherwise, and then you can also, with this, you can put the servo in the stock position, which would be this way, and use your existing setup, and it'll steer the same way. Or you can center it, and it comes with arms, so it can be centered. So I went with the centered one. I figured if I'm going through all the trouble to upgrade, I might as well make something different. So, alright, that's really about it. I'm going to continue on with box number 2 now. Okay, and that is bag 2 complete. Nothing too crazy about that step. It's the first step where you start cannibalizing on the old chassis of the lunchbox. It reuses the gearbox and the same attachment from the old chassis to here. Just one thing, don't get ahead of yourself. Put one in, put the gearbox in, and then attach the second one. I'll admit, I just went down, put them both on, and then realized, and I should have known better, because you're not going to be able to fit that in there. So I had to take one off, put it back on. That's not the directions fault, because it clearly says do this one, then do that one with the gearbox. So I was just going ahead of myself, I guess. But otherwise, that's step 2. It's starting to come together, starting to look like something. I can kind of see what it's going to look like. And on to bag 3. Okay, and there's bag 3 done. That was a tough one. That was all of the front suspension. So here's the high performance kit. I got it in there. Front shocks aren't quite attached yet, but as you can see, that's not a normal lunchbox motion. That's some high performance right there. So it's going to be quite an improvement. Got the whole front end in. Got the shocks on. A lot of reusing of some of the parts. We still use the shock mounts from the old one right there. The inserts that came with these racing shocks do not fit in there unless you have a much longer screw, but then it splays out this bracket, so you have to use the inserts from the shocks on your lunchbox already to make sure that these fit your shocks. It's a little sloppy, but not too bad. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere, and once you get the top one anchored, it'll be fine. But it's not the nice tight ball joint. And speaking of tight, getting this in there and getting it out when I didn't need it was tough. These did not want to go in. I actually had to put some oil on there and get them in there. So anyway, that's bag 3. On to bag 4. Alright, and there's bag 4. This thing is done. Few highlights. Battery pack goes in here with a thumb screw situation. You don't want to use a big LiPo. I've got the 5000 milliamp 2S LiPo. Just barely goes in there, so I think I'm due for some new ones, so I'm going to get a little bit smaller 2S LiPo. But it fit. No big deal. It was in there. So there's your bottom there. This last thing is going to look that pretty until it gets run. I went ahead and upgraded. If you can see the Sport Tune motor, added that in there. Otherwise, same electronics. The shocks are tricky, but they're in there. One thing I am going to get after getting it together is the rear axle brace. It goes, I don't know if you can see in here, it goes right there and locks this down in a down position, because right now it still does the old way up and down, and I'm not sure about that. I think that's just going to be a lot of motion for the back wheels. So overall, not a difficult build. I did it in, well, really 2 days. I think I've worked on it about 3 hours today and about 3 hours yesterday, so about 6 hours to get where it is right now. So not too bad. Just have to really pay attention to the directions and don't do what I have a bad habit to do is, oh, I know, and I just get in a hurry, look at the picture and glance, and then, oh, no, I got out of order and have to take it apart. Did that a couple times. His directions are great. If you read them, they're great. So, well, that is the Lunchbox ProCarbon chassis kit build, all done. Okay, and there it is with the wheels on. It kind of looks like a modern day mini Monster Jam monster truck now with that chassis on it. It's looking really good. Check out the front. Front wheels stay on the ground nicely. A little stiff, but I think it'll work in. Oops, a little stiff, but I think it'll work in. There's this side with the wheels. Alright. So, it's looking good. Alright, so that is the lunchbox with the ProCarbon chassis from UK Monsters. Let's see what it looks like with the body on it. Okay, and there's a great side view. It does kind of have a lower stance. It's got a lot more travel in the suspension, so it's going to be less top heavy. Whoops. On that, but that's what it looks like. Front end, a little bit more aggressive right there, but looks good. I like it. There's the other side. Looks really good. The only one issue I had to bend the wires off of that motor. I think that would be the same on a the lunchbox, whether it was this chassis or not, because that was all the same assembly, because it was getting into the wheel. But well, that's fixed. Alright. That is the lunchbox with the ProCarbon chassis kit. It was a great build. I highly recommend it. The weather here in Illinois is pretty awful today, a lot of severe weather. So we'll get a run in a later video. But thanks for stopping by the garage, and take care.